Hi, it's Ruben Abramov, the haftorahman, sitting in, of all places, the haftorahman library. I'm preparing for this Shabbat. Why? Because by now I would have been out in the Hamptons synagogue and I would have been speaking to my congregational family first person. But thank God, Rabbi Schneier, Rabbi Bronstein, Chazan Herstig, the maestro of the choir, Chaimov, and of course, to the president, Carol Levin, I just want to say a few words about this week's Haftarah. The Parsha, the Torah reading, is called Emor. Emor means speak unto who? The Kohanim, the priests. So, the men of the Great Assembly, the ones that selected which Haftorahs should be read, they selected this portion from the book of Ezekiel. Why? Because Ezekiel himself is talking about the rituals of the Kohen, of the priest. So who is this man? Why was he qualified to speak? Well, he was a prophet. He was also a Kohen. He was a priest. He lived in Jerusalem. He also had prophecies in Babylonia. And he is also buried there. And when you see the name Ezekiel in a Haftorah, you know it's powerful. He did the vision of God's heavenly chariot, the valley of the dry bones, and here this is his doing a walk through the next temple, explaining what it's going to look like and who's going to work there. So it comes from chapter 44 of Yechezkel, Mem Dalet. And it does not start at the beginning. It starts in the 15th verse. And this is which Kohanim are going to be selected to serve in the future Beit HaMikdash. It is the Kohanim that were also Leviim. In other words, all Kohanim came from the Levitical tribe. And specifically Bnei Tzadok, the sons of Tzadok. Who was Tzadok? He was the Kohen Gadol that fastidiously stuck to God's outline and demands and requests of how God wanted to be worshipped. And they're the ones that stayed close to God. And because of that, they are going to be the ones leading the services in the future temple. The Haftarah talks about what the Kohen Gadol looked like, with his turban, headband, shirt, culotte pants. So it was a regal, royal costume that he would wear with white linen, and he would get haircuts every day. There was Kohen Gadol would get his haircut every day. Grooming was very important. Mikveh, ritual bath, was very important. So here it also outlines that they were well groomed, they were clean, and that they did not drink wine, and there's restrictions. And some of the restrictions in the Torah are not the same as in the book of Ezekiel. Whoa, they were going to leave Ezekiel out of the books of the prophets. And then this wonderful rabbi went up into his attic, atik, where you put all the old stuff, and he reconciled all the differences. So they left it in. So it says you're not allowed to marry a widow, you're not allowed to marry a divorcee. So they had different rules for a Kohen Gadol, a Kohen, and the rest of Am Yisrael. And what did they do all day long, these priests? Well, I'll tell you. They would help counsel the people, they would study Torah. Remember, a Kohen did not work 52 weeks a year. He worked for 2 weeks. It's called Mishmeret HaKohanim, the watch of the priests. And then they would have the rest of the time off, and they would cycle through twice a year. So when they were in the temple, they were on duty. When they were not in the temple, how did they live? Well, they were servants of the community. So here you have instructions on how did we support the priests. And we would give them a small percent of all our revenues, the Israelites. Well, let's just wrap it up now, that the Kohanim We're the role models for spirituality, and we are inspired today that a lot of us, when we get together, we spiritually uplift ourselves and each other into this wonderful, wonderful, inspiring religion of Judaism that is the greatest system known to man. And the more we use it, the better off we are, and the more kadosh we can be, the more holy and separate we can be. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for listening.